Hey guys, for my presentation I'm going to be explaining economic surplus and kind of just what it is, where it comes from, and how we can break it down into categories. So economic surplus is the total overall gains from trade in the economy. So it can be represented by this green triangle right here and broken down into two parts called consumer and producer surplus. You can also just calculate it by subtracting the marginal cost from the marginal benefit, or demand minus supply. So once again, just this green triangle. Consumer surplus is just this upper part here, and it's the gain that we as consumers get from buying something at a lower price than we're willing to pay. So we can just go demand minus price, marginal benefit minus price, because we know that those two things are the same. And just, yeah, that area above price and beneath demand, this triangle right here. And then producer surplus is right underneath it, and it's the gain producers get from selling something for more than it costs them to produce. So we can go the price of the product that it was sold at, the price minus the marginal cost, which is however it costs for them to make. So right above the supply curve and below price right here. Together, they both equal economic surplus, so we know that economic surplus is the sum of the consumer and producer surpluses. So we can calculate it that way, or we can just calculate the green triangle as a whole by subtracting marginal cost from marginal benefit, like I mentioned earlier. Just demand minus supply, or the sum of both consumer and producer surpluses. So for my example here, I've just gone ahead and used the price of a pair of pants that I bought once for, we'll say $60, just to make it easier, by 5 cents. These pants cost $60. So I've gone ahead and put that into the graph right here. And if you can see my cursor, let's say I'm willing to pay $70 for these pants, but they only cost me $60. Then my consumer surplus would be $10, right? Because I was willing to pay $10 more, but I didn't have to. So it's like this benefit that I get. It's like my little consumer bonus. So we can just say that that is the marginal benefit minus the cost, so $10. And for the producer, it's this little triangle right underneath here. That's how much it costs them to make, subtracted from the price that I paid. So if I paid $60 and it only cost them $30 to make, that means their producer surplus is $30. And that also means the total economic surplus is equivalent to $40, or the sum of both of those prices. We can add them together, or we can just calculate demand minus supply, which I would be willing to pay $70. It only costs them $30 to make, and so the total economic surplus is $40, or this inner triangle right here that I've put into this bracket. And that is pretty much how economic surplus works. It's just that total overall gain and benefit from any party in the society, in the economy, and how we can calculate that. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense, that I didn't just confuse you with numbers, and that you just can understand a little bit more what economic surplus is. So thank you so much for listening.